Hey guys! In today's lesson, finally, we're gonna bring all the fields from the product that is featured in the Deal of the Week section. Well, let's recap. The fields we'll need, which are all coming from the database, are the product image, the product title, the description, the normal price, the sale price, the featured product ID, and an important detail, the information that tells whether the section will be displayed in the template or not. My suggestion is that we start by defining the value of some of these fields so that we can use them in the content. Let's open up the homepage template file here. So here before the section, let's open the PHP tag. Let's create a variable called showDeal. And it will get the value from the setting called setDealShow. Let's pass the default value as 0, so the section will not be displayed by default. This avoids showing an empty section as soon as the user installs the theme, because there will be no product yet defined. And there's no way we can pass a random ID as a default value because we are not able to know if a given ID will exist after the user installs the theme. So that's why we are setting this to 0. Let's create another variable to store the value of the featured product ID. Set_deal is the name of the setting. Here, as I just said, we will not pass any default value. Another thing we need is the currency symbol that is being used in the store. As this varies from country to country, from store to store, we cannot use the fixed value. It has to come from the WooCommerce settings. So let's create a variable. The name will be currency. And let's say it gets the value of a WooCommerce function called get_WooCommerce_currency_symbol. Now let's get the product prices, both the normal price and the sale price. For the regular price, we have to use the WordPress function called getPostMeta. How does it work? Well, it tries to retrieve any value stored into a WordPress table called WP_postMeta. Basically, it is used to retrieve additional information from posts called meta values, hence the table name, postMeta. Since WooCommerce products are in fact posts, WooCommerce uses this table to store several additional product data, such as prices, number of items in stock, and almost everything you see when you are editing a product. It's like magic, isn't it? To use this function, we need to pass some parameters. The first one is the post ID. Well, we already have the ID, which is coming from this variable here. So let's just pass the variable here. The second one is the value of the key where the field we want is stored. If you take a look at the WP postMeta table, you see that all fields there are classified by the post ID and by the keys. In this case, the key that stores the regular price of the product is called _regular_price. The last parameter indicates if you want to return only a single value for the field. We can set it to true and say that yes, we just want a single value for the field. Now we need the sale price. Basically, it's the same thing. We just need to change the key here, which is called _sale_price. Now we can start using some of these fields. For example, let's create a validation block that will include all this section. Let's create an if block that starts here and ends right here below. Inside the parentheses, let's test if the show deal value is equal to 1, that is, if it's true. For this, we have to use two equal signs. Let's put the PHP AND, which are two ampersand signs. And let's also test if the value of the deal variable is not empty. That is, this whole section will only be displayed on the screen if both conditions are true, if the checkbox is marked, and if the user has typed any ID for the featured product field. Finally, we will define a last variable here within the validation, which will help us calculate the value of the discount in percentage. That is, we will calculate the discount only if there is a product selected by the user. If you don't do this, we could see an error on the screen. How will this percentage be calculated? For example, if the regular price is 100 and the sale price is 10, the discount value is 90%. I want this percentage to appear on the red label. Well, I know a way to do that by dividing the purchase sale price, sale, by the regular price, regular, times 100. And from that amount, I subtract 100. So I get the exact discount value in percentage. To avoid that the value has too many numbers to the right of the comma, I will pass all this to the app's int WordPress function. It prevents us from getting negative numbers and also helps us show only integer numbers. We could also use a PHP function called round, but it could round the number up and display a wrong percentage to the visitor. For example, instead of showing 50%, it could show 51%. We don't want the store owners to get any complaints from their buyers, do we? If you are better at math than me, because I confess I'm not so good at math, you can choose another way to calculate the percentage. Be my guest. Well, now that we have everything we need, let's start bringing up the fields on the screen. The first field will be the image field. Let's open the PHP here. And let's echo out a function called getThePostThumbnail. It is similar to the function called the post thumbnail that is being used up above in the slider. But unlike that function, which only works inside a loop, this one can be used anywhere. For that, we need to pass some parameters. The first one is the post ID. If you were inside the loop, we wouldn't need this value because the loop already knows what the post ID is. Let's pass here the variable that has the ID. Then we want to bring the image size. Since we didn't create any specific image size to use here, like we did in the slider, we're going to use any of the built-in sizes already defined by WordPress. For example, large. And here we can also add an array of arguments. Let's call the class argument. And as a value, we'll pass the Bootstrap img fluid class. As you know, this can make this class be added to the image, and that will make our image responsive. So let's check it out. Let's see if it works. First, let's go over to the customizer. And let's type some product ID in the field. That's perfect. We already have our image displayed here. Amazing. So in the next lesson, we'll continue. We will work with the other side of the section, bringing there the fields that are missing. And we will finish with our product listings. Until then.